Today, we're going to simply talk about how you can use your phone to make high quality content that you can repurpose on social media. Listen, in a digital age, we can fight content all we want, but whether you're an inspiring creator or maybe you're just a family man that wants to capture some really high quality content for some memories, this is the video for you. So I'm going to briefly share some tips and tricks that's going to help you create some amazing content. And because it's going to be all directly through your phone, you don't really need like a video expert. So first, let's talk about the basics. You're just going to grab your phone, and because I'm on the iPhone bandwagon, your settings might be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, the last couple of years, every single phone that's been out there, whether it's Android or iPhone, the camera's been amazing. And the fact that a few years ago, we all had to spend like thousands of dollars to get a really high quality digital camera to get some good content, you can get unbelievable content just from your phone. So first thing you want to do is check your phone, make sure you have plenty of storage available. As we're going to continue to capture high quality content, that's going to eat up a lot of storage on your phone. Now, this might seem simple, but if you are inside, make sure you're hooked up to internet connection, because if you're using things like AirDrop, Dropbox, or Google Drive to upload content, you want to make sure you have the Wi-Fi connection available. Now, this might be different with the phone you have, but make sure you go to settings, head over to camera, and you're going to see some settings like formats, record video, and things like that. Just make sure they're on the best settings possible. And of course, if you have 4K, you want to click on that bad boy. Now, before filming anything, always clean your camera lens. This will actually avoid blurry images and any other distortion that might happen as you're taking a photo or video. And this might seem silly, but make sure your phone's fully charged before you do long filming. Okay, let's move on to the good stuff. So lighting. As you can tell, this studio is very lit up. Is it necessary to capture some good content with this? No, you don't need it. But what does it look like without it? So as you can tell, it's not the best. Now this is with a hair light on. It's getting better. And then of course a key light, which is right in front of me. Okay, much better. I do have a top light. That kind of makes a little bit of a difference. Mainly outlines my hair and some other features. And lastly, I just add a little backlight for some extra color. Now, as always, if you're looking for any type of gear or equipment that we're using, you can check in the description below. But the most important part when you're filming on your phone is not all these lights that I'm talking about. The most important part is natural light. If you can have any type of natural light, that's going to be the absolute best lighting you can get. You could just see the massive difference by creating content in front of a window versus not. I mean, lighting is absolutely crucial when it comes to creating high quality content. So when you're on your phone capturing content for a product, brand, or even just a selfie with friends and family, if you can't do it outside, make sure you're doing it in front of a window or in a well-lit area. But the key is you want to avoid direct sunlight, especially on your face. When it comes to being outside doing photography or videography, you want the golden hour. The golden hour is the last hour before sunset and the first hour before sunrise. This is when you're going to get the best content possible. Now, when it comes to filming indoors or outdoors, how do you keep the camera stable? A tripod. So this might be a small investment, but you can go on Amazon and get some basic tripods for 20, 40, 50 bucks. Of course, at the end of the day, depending on what type of content you're creating, whether it's content that you're going to be outside a lot, you want something sturdy, or maybe something like a gorilla pod that can wrap around elements. The best part about having a tripod is that it allows you to produce steady, high quality content. It's going to keep your phone in one position, which is going to allow you to do some smooth edits and tilts in post-production. And of course, no one likes shaky footage, so having a tripod is really going to help with that. Not to mention, if you're like me, I always create content by myself. So with a tripod, you don't have to ask someone to film you. Now let's move on to phone apps. So when it comes to creating high quality content, some of the favorites that I like to use is Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop for photos. You know, if you're not that experienced, that's okay. You can even use things like Canva, or most phones like the iPhone has a built-in editing software that's actually really good. Now when it comes to video, this is where it gets a little bit complex, because if you're looking for some really high-tech, high-quality content, there's things like DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, and of course iMovie if you want to kind of start small. Again, nowadays with everything that's going on in the phone app, a lot of these companies like CapCut, which really made a name for themselves on TikTok, now even has a desktop version that's really, really good. But of course you can get more detailed with captions and transitions and B-roll with programs like Descript. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about preference and where your skill level is. A best practice is don't start paying for memberships or all this different software if you're just getting started. Get familiar with one or two things that are free. Make sure you're going to be creating content constantly. And if you are, it might be worth the investment once you start making some money. Now let's talk about angles. The key is, as you're filming content, you want to capture different angles all in one motion. One thing I like to do is I like to create at least 2 or 3 angles while I'm filming before I even look at the final footage. It's just a lot more time consuming when you film one angle and then you go back and look at it, then film another angle, then go back and look at it. The best practice is just film a bunch of different angles, try shooting low, high, depending on what type of footage you're trying to get, and play with the foregrounds and backgrounds a little bit. Now, of course, there is a ton of other tips and tricks that we can go over, but these are just a few to get you started as a content creator. And if you want to know more, hit that subscribe button, give us a follow, and there's going to be a lot more content on the way. We'll see you soon, and happy creating, friends. Oh, hey there. First of all, thanks for making it to the end of this video. Not a lot of people do, according to the YouTube analytics, but I do want to say thanks for listening to this. There's some more episodes if you want to check those out, and they're all just as good. But if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out those timestamps below to reference some of the topics I talked about, as well as some discount links to some of our sponsors and affiliates. But thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you next time.